That awkward conversational moment where you say something that the other person doesn't resonate with. Your face starts to get hot, and the other person looks at you a little bit annoyed, and you have no clue what to say next. Have you ever been in that situation where the conversation is not going the way that you want? Does it happen to you a lot? Every conversation for me used to end this way. The girl walking away annoyed, the teacher being upset, the person that I was hoping to help being actually mad at me for trying to help them. In this video, I'm going to explain to you how I went from making people angry every time I spoke with them to actually helping the person that wanted the help and actually having the best rapport out of anybody I ever met with other people. This video will just show you how to get along with every single person, and it's 100% going to depend on these three things that we're going to go over today. Now, you have to understand what mind state these people are in when you're having a conversation. If you can understand this, you'll be golden. So the first mind state is somebody who just wants to be helped. Okay, somebody who comes to you and they are looking for a service, looking for advice, looking for information. This is what most people assume everybody comes to them for. They start a conversation with you because you're the expert. You're the person that's going to help them. So, great news. When somebody comes to you who wants to be helped, the trick is listen to them, figure out what their problems are, ask great questions so you can figure out what the solution would be. And when they say, hey, what would you do in this situation? Then you can just go ahead and tell them exactly what you would recommend they do in this situation. This is the greatest way to build rapport with these people. You can flex your knowledge, you can give them specific insight into what you would do in their situation, and you can let them know that everything is going to be okay because you've been through this exact same position before and now you're here. So if you follow exactly what you're saying, they can get to a similar standpoint as you are right now. We all know that that's not the reality 80% of the time. Most conversations don't start with somebody coming up to you saying, "Oh, Master Benny, please tell me everything you know. I want to learn from you." That actually only happens after we've established ourselves in the space. So the way that I help people along their journey to then getting to the wanting to be helped stage is understanding when they come to me with the number two. Now, the number two is what you're going to get most of the time with people who are a little bit interested, but they're not 100% sure that you're the right person for them, or whether or not, you could even help them, or whether or not they're even ready to make a change, because most people aren't. And so number two is when people just come to you and they want to be heard. This is the majority of conversations that you're going to get, and most people make the mistake, myself included, of thinking that these people want to be helped. But the reality is, a lot of the time, people are going to come to you, and they're going to talk with you, and they're going to have conversations with you, and they're not looking for your advice. That's a hard pill for me to swallow because I love to give advice, especially when they tell me things that I know I can help them with. But the reality is they don't want help, they want to be heard. So the telltale signs for this are when people are just telling you about their day. Maybe they're telling you about when things went wrong for them. They're not actively asking for a solution. They're just telling you what went wrong, what went right, what they've been learning, what they're working on, what they're having fun with, what they're not having fun with. They're just holding a conversation. This is especially important when you're networking, because people are going to come up to you when you're at live events, masterminds, dinners, dates, and they're going to tell you things, and you're going to have to put your coaching brain in the background. You're going to have to take your coaching hat off, pop, and you're just going to have to put your listening hat on and just understand that these people want to be heard. If you can do this properly, if you can hear people at these masterminds, at these dates, at these dinners, at these networking events, they're going to remember that. The rapport will have been built because they will say at the end, wow, I really enjoy talking to you. And the reality is they don't actually enjoy talking to you. They just like to be able to talk about themselves. So if you are somebody that allows them to talk about themselves, they are by proxy going to like you because they're talking about themselves. They think of you when they think about them. You want to be associated with that. Now, once you've done that, you can move people towards helping. Now, the people who are all the way at the very, very end, and these people you actually have to be very careful with. These are the most dangerous people. If you mess this up, you can create enemies. You can create people who actually just loathe you, who don't respect you, who maybe go so far as to hate you because you've mishandled them. The third is people who need to be hugged. Now, when you're having a conversation with somebody and they just had the worst thing in the world happen to them, their business got shut down, they got in a car accident on a car that they just got, their mom is sick, they just got back from the hospital, when they just got that terrible news, I can tell you the last thing they want is to be helped. One thing that they do want is to be heard, but one thing that they really need, not just to be heard and asked a bunch of questions, which is what happens when you're hearing them, you're asking them tons of questions. Some people just want to be hugged. Some people just want you to be silent. They don't want you to ask questions, and after they tell you something, they just want a hug. They don't even want a conversation. These are the 3 levels. If you can understand them and be able to pinpoint who wants what, you will be able to get along with absolutely every single person under the sun. Peace.